It's been 10 years already. Unbelievable. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Master of None here. Happy birthday, Guild Wars 2. Weird to think that I've been playing this game for over a third of my life. The perfect opportunity to take a step back, briefly explain how I got to know this game, and most importantly, what I love most about it. It's easy to get hung up on a single balance patch or disagree with some decisions ArenaNet has made over the years, but I cannot deny that this game has given me thousands of hours of entertainment and left me with some of the best memories in this hobby. It was back in 2007, I was happily playing Guild Wars 1 when Guild Wars 2 was first announced. Now mind you, this was 5 years before the actual release. I would visit GW2 Guru on a daily basis and absorb any info I could get my hands on, no matter how small it was. GW2 Guru, for those of you who weren't playing back then, was basically an unofficial Guild Wars forum, similar to the subreddit nowadays. Every day there were new speculation threads, and whenever we got a little bit of actual information, the whole place seemingly exploded in excitement. What I remember most were the profession reveals. Seeing the skills for the first time was absolutely incredible. I could hardly believe that this was real and we were actually going to be able to play that any day now, when it's ready. A standout to me was definitely the reveal of the Elementalist. I had never seen such cool spell animations in an MMO before, and my body was so ready to main that profession. So yeah, over the course of 5 years, I have built up an unhealthy amount of hype. Played every closed beta, although playing is maybe a bit pushing it. It was more like staying up all night trying to log on every 3 minutes, but not getting to play until the very next day. I consumed every video, watched them over and over again. The ones I still remember are some videos from the Yogscast and various Gamescom demos. And I was ready to jump into the game with the 3-day head start, August 25th. I would finally be able to explore new Tyria for as long as I liked. The hype levels were unreal and all eyes were on ArenaNet. Sure, there was a significant part of the Guild Wars 1 community who quickly realized that this game was nothing like its predecessor, which is why they dismissed the game just as quickly. For me, however, it was magical. The game was praised left and right. Anyone ever go back to that Angry Joe review? If you want to feel some real nostalgia, that's the best place to get it. This brings me to the first point. I love this new version of Tyria. I was engulfed by it back then, and I am equally impressed by it today. The sense of exploration was just off the charts. So many varied maps to explore, so many secrets to find, jumping puzzles hidden away, and events to discover. It was definitely a benefit that the game launched with this huge world. It immediately conjured this feeling of wonder in me. Looking at all the dungeon armors in Lion's Arch, wondering if I'd ever be able to beat Ara and wear that armor with pride. I remember going into the World v World Borderlands with my brother, doing the jumping puzzle and waiting behind the vault door for other people to come in and try to loot the chest. Same thing with Obsidian Sanctum jumping puzzle, which was part of the Eternal Battlegrounds map back then. Meaning you might be taking valuable spots for your server and putting them at a disadvantage. That was by far the coolest place to me, and I've spent hours there. A whole jumping puzzle filled with traps that you yourself could control and activate to try and stop the other server from reaching the end. Having fights in these really weird places, using knockbacks and pulls to make your enemy pull their hairs out. Sadly, those two places have lost some of their novelty over the years and are not really big hotspots anymore, but the memories will last forever. The backbone of all this exploration, discovery and fighting is the moment-to-moment gameplay. Not only was there a huge leap, no pun intended, in movement compared to the first game, but everything in Guild Wars 2 feels so fluid. The animations and the eye for detail are top notch. I love how no matter which character you play, You get a heal skill and the ability to dodge attacks. Dodge roll in this case is an actual invulnerability frame, not just a movement tool. So Guild Wars 2 always felt like this weird hybrid of an action game like the Souls series mixed with tab targeting MMO gameplay. And I would have never thought that ArenaNet could pull that off so well, but they did. It's probably my favorite combat system out of any MMO. I think it really helps that the invulnerability window of the dodge is really long compared to the games I just mentioned. It helps to bring the skill floor down a bit while making the combat feel very active. You're not trying to stare at the skill bar of the enemy, instead you try to watch for its animations. The problem arises when visual clutter that has just been getting worse over the years gets thrown into the mix. So you do kind of have to learn what effects you can ignore and which ones you still have to pay attention to. There's definitely a learning curve there, and I think it's also something that makes Guild Wars 2 not that easy to watch. This again is a problem that many MMOs have, and sadly GW2 is no exception. Speaking of other MMOs, the thing I love most about Guild Wars 2 is how it challenges everything an MMO should be. For better or for worse, it's been designed from the ground up to be the opposite of what people take for granted in MMOs. It is what makes me come back again and again to this game. While I love many different MMOs, the constant feeling of having to keep up can be extremely draining. Guild Wars 2 respects your time, there is no endless gear treadmill, and it's built on the philosophy that the whole game is the end game. That's what makes it the perfect home for me. I can get excited about a new WoW expansion, play it for a month or two and come back to Guild Wars. Go out and play the new God of War or hopefully the new Witcher game anytime soon. Return and not feel like any of my accomplishments have been nullified in the meantime. It's definitely a point that has split the MMO population quite drastically. There are absolutely players that will never understand the appeal of Guild Wars 2, because they don't know what they are supposed to do in the game when there isn't this huge carrot dangling in front of them. In the same vein, however, there are many Guild Wars players that are exactly the same way about other MMOs, and only ever play GW2, or maybe else a different genre entirely. On top of the fact that MMO players can be weirdly hostile and tribalistic towards other games in the genre. For me, variety is the spice of life. I say try to see and appreciate the game for what it is, enjoy it to the fullest, and when you catch yourself feeling some apathy towards it, it's probably time to take a break. I've had about a 2-year break before coming back to the game pretty much exactly a year ago, and I started this YouTube channel at the same time, documenting my return and my experiences with the game, but also talk about the things that I enjoyed a little less. This also meant that I played this game for an ungodly amount in the past year and just recently started slowing down a bit again. No matter which way you cut it though, I have a huge appreciation for what ArenaNet crafted with Guild Wars 2. Hopefully with the Steam release, many more people will get to appreciate what this game has to offer. And I'm looking forward to where this game will go, once they finish implementing all of Season 1 and we can finally get some new content. I would love to know though, what is your best Guild Wars 2 memory? Tell me down below. Thank you for watching, enjoy the 10th anniversary and hope to see you in the next one.